Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Does Google ever plan on charging for this?
That's an interesting question. Google has not announced any plans to charge for this service at this time. However, it's always possible that they could change their policy in the future.
Hmm.
Would you like me to search for any official announcements about it?
No, I'm good for now. I want to get back to automating my workday on make.com. Would you like to continue with that?
Yes, I'm ready to continue.
Actually, before we continue, how long do you think the whole process will take to automate everything that I do now? Because we've already got the whole text-to-speech done, and I now want to extrapolate out the runtime of the audio to seconds, and so I can calculate how much my freelancer should get paid. How long do you think that part will take?
Estimating how long it will take to automate your entire workflow is difficult without knowing all the specifics. However, if we focus on your current task of calculating audio runtime and freelancer pay, I can try to help with that. Do you want to discuss that specific part of the automation first?
Yeah, let's do that part.
Okay, so to calculate the audio runtime, we'll need to figure out how to extract that information from the audio files you have. Do you know what format those files are in?
Yeah, the output is gonna come in MP3 from 11 Labs when it kicks it out back to Google Drive, and that's all gonna be in make.com.
Okay, so you have the audio files in MP3 format, and they'll be stored in Google Drive after processing by 11 Labs, and that will be integrated into make.com. That gives us a good starting point. Would you like to discuss how to extract the runtime now?
Yeah.
Alright, so to extract the audio runtime from the MP3 file, we can use a Python library called mutagen. It will allow us to read the metadata of the file.
Wait. Do we need that if we're using make.com? If everything's already in there, can I just already use an app that's in there?
That's a very valid point. If make.com already has an app or module to extract the audio metadata, including duration, that would be the most efficient way.
Yeah,
Let me check if such a module exists in make.com. Do you know what that module might be called?
Well, I don't know, but earlier we were speaking and you were saying that after we have let me check. Let me look on it right now. You were saying that in the upload a file, when the 11 Labs output area to upload a file back to Google Drive, you could automatically split it off to just download that same file or just read the file in the Google Drive to say, hey, this is like 120 seconds, put that into a separate spreadsheet and then do a multiplication to just say the runtime in seconds by the 4 cents per second.
Okay, I see what you mean. So instead of using a separate Python library, we should explore make.com South Google Drive integration and see if it can extract metadata, like the duration from an MP3 file, directly after upload, and then write it into a spreadsheet. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, let's do that.
Alright, so within make.com, do you want to look at the Google Drive module and then identify how to extract the MP3 duration, or do you have a specific idea of how we should approach this?
Well, your idea first was to create a separate file in the Google Drive, to create an Excel file, and then automatically just pull the data, extrapolate the data from the 11 Labs before it gets to the Google Drive, or just read the Google Drive in general by the file name and data where you can look at, and then just put that into the Google Drive itself. But I don't know if you want me to create a brand new automation for that to not like bog this down, or what's the move here?
Okay, I understand. So you're suggesting we create a new process that after 11 Labs creates the MP3, we can automatically grab the file metadata, specifically the duration, create an Excel file, write the file duration, and then save that to Google Drive. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like a good plan. We can do that. Would you like me to start outlining the steps in make.com for that automation flow?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first step would be to set up a trigger in make.com that watches for new files added to your Google Drive folder where the 11 Labs output is stored. Do you know how to set up that trigger?
Yeah, I already know how to set up that trigger.
Great. So the next step after the trigger would be to use a Google Drive module that can extract the file's metadata. Do you want to look at that module together?
Yeah, let me look it up right now. I'm gonna type it in. I'm typing Google Drive and see if you can. Okay. So what am I looking for? Should I share the screen so you can see this, or do you want me to just tell you?
Sharing your screen could be helpful, but you can also tell me what you see. It's up to you.
Okay. I'm looking. I'm
Let me
seeing
know.
the first one is watch files in a folder. Then there's watch all files, watch folders, search for file folders, download a file, create a file from text, create a folder, create a file folder shortcut, upload a file, rename a folder. I'm not seeing anything yet. Share a file, upload a file folder access. Watch share drives.
Okay, so you're looking at the list of actions in the Google Drive module in make.com. You see options like watch files in a folder, watch all files, and several others. You don't see one that directly extracts metadata yet. Is that right?
I'm searching metadata specifically. No.
Okay, that's a good idea. Let's try searching for metadata or file info within the module options. See if anything comes up.
Okay, yeah, there's one that popped up that says watch file in a folder. Triggers when a file is created or modified in a selected folder. Would that work?
Okay, watch file in a folder is the trigger, but we need an action that extracts the metadata. Keep looking within the Google Drive module. There might be another action.
Metadata.
Okay, have you found any actions that look like they might extract metadata when you search for it?
No, but hold on. There are flow tools in here that could probably help. I'm looking at the screen right now. There are things like the repeater, the iterator, the array aggregator, and the router. But the router would probably be able to route the file from the Google Drive to somewhere else if we want to do that. But if this is going to be like a big problem right now for this little solution of just getting the runtime and the seconds to cost average per video, I'd rather like come back to this later and do something else right now.
Okay, I understand. It seems like directly extracting the metadata within the Google Drive module might not be straightforward. If you'd prefer to handle the audio duration calculation in a different way, we can definitely do that. We can either come back to this later or explore other options.
Yeah,
what do you think is...
Let's come back to it later. And right now I want to jump back to the beginning of this file because I started this with the automations where it started where I uploaded the actual Word documents to the watch file in Google Drive. Now I actually have a process where I automate already in ChatGPT to create these articles or the YouTube script. I would like to automate that. So can you help me with that process?
Yes, absolutely, we can do that. So you want to move back to the initial automation where you were uploading Word documents to Google Drive, and now you want to automate the process of having ChatGPT create those documents? Is that right?
Yeah, but I want to create a separate automated automation for that, so it's just one smooth flow. So once that automation gets done and just dump these folders into a separate file, I can go through and manually review the content for each of these things before all of this process just goes through and just waste a bunch of time, if that makes sense. But yeah, I would like to do that.
Okay, I understand. So you want to create a new separate automation that focuses on getting the documents created with ChatGPT, and then place those created documents into their own specific folder so you can manually review them before continuing to the next step. That's a good approach.
Yeah. So how do we go about doing that?
Okay, so to automate the process of creating the documents with ChatGPT, we'll need to integrate the ChatGPT API into make.com. Do you have any experience working with APIs, or should we go through the steps together?
I think I know how to get the ChatGPT API, but you can tell me because I think it's a whole different domain that I have to go to with the OpenAI thing, but you can tell me. I already have an account.
Okay, it sounds like you're familiar with the general idea of getting an API key from OpenAI. If you have an account, that's a great start. We can go through the specifics together if you'd like. Would you like to start with the OpenAI website?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so to get started, you'll want to log in to your OpenAI account and go to the API keys section. Have you located that yet?
I'm logging into my account right now.